Hello everyone, I'm Eric Olson. I'm the City Administrator for the City of Pensacola, Florida. I think it's appropriate that today, Memorial Day, we take the time to remember all those who have died in the service of their country. And I want to thank all of you who've come together today, and through your actions, your commitment to an organization like Boots Up, you help preserve the memory of all those who have fallen in service to their country. As I said, I'm Eric Olson. I'm the City Administrator for the City of Pensacola. I'm also a retired naval officer, and it's probably unusual that I find myself sitting as the City Administrator. It wasn't something that I really thought about when I was transitioning from the military to a civilian career, but it's where I ended up. And I ended up there because of connections that I had made through personal contacts, and a lot of that was through personal networks that I wasn't even aware of. And I tell you that because it illustrates a point. It illustrates a point that I hope you will see as I continue in my remarks. But it's something that I think illustrates the value of an organization like Boots Up and the value that a city can bring to Boots Up. We can be a very valuable ally in the campaign to help servicemen and women who are making the transition from the military to a civilian career. Because regardless of whether someone leaves the military after a one-term enlistment or if they make a full career of it, that transition can be daunting. Whether it's back to a school, back to into some new employment, all that can be difficult because besides the normal worries and frustrations that come with any major changes in our lives, military members often do that without the extensive support network that all of us, or most of us, are able to rely on. And that's because a lot of times when they leave the service, they're leaving in a place that's far away from where they grew up. It's far away from the friends and family that provided the social support network that they came to be accustomed to. So they've left their family, they've left their friends, they may have left their hometown, and think about that. Think about all those connections that we make in life. Think about what we learn, whether it's in life, in school, or at work, maybe through a social club, a civic organization. Think of how those connections that we make help us navigate through life. Whether we're looking for, let's say, the best shrimp dinner, I mean, after all, we're on the Gulf Coast here, or we're looking for a new job, most of us are going to start looking by asking the people that we know. Now imagine that your support network has been disrupted. All those people that you depended on, either they're no longer there or they just don't have the knowledge about the things that you're looking for now. And that's what it can be like for somebody leaving the military. Who do you turn to for answers when you don't really know anyone? People leaving the military will have a much easier transitioning to a new school, a new job, or maybe just a new activity in their lives if they can develop a network of people who can help them answer those questions. And that's where Boots Up can make a difference. After all, as it says on the website, our ultimate goal is making connections. With that as the goal, it's only natural that the City of Pensacola wanted to partner with Boots Up. Pensacola and the northwest region of Florida are home to a huge population of both active duty military members and military veterans. The military is just part of the fabric of our community. Even so, it can be very difficult for some veterans to translate their military experience into a civilian career, into the civilian language. Without a network of people who can help do that translation, who can open doors, make introductions, it can still be difficult for a veteran to make the connection to a new job or to settle on the best educational path. So it's only fitting that it was actually through a previous connection that I had with Mark Harden that the city was introduced to Boots Up and that we eventually were able to form a partnership. We agreed to it not because the city could provide training or jobs or mentorship, although we can do a little bit of that. It was because we can offer connections. We can offer opportunities to extend a veterans network. So what does that mean in practical terms? Well, first of all, we can circulate resumes. We know veterans who are looking for jobs, and we know through our network of contacts that we can create opportunities. We can open doors. We're not saying that we can land a job, but we can land an interview. And everybody knows that's one of the most critical first steps. You got to be able to get your foot in the door. the city, through its network, can help those people who may not have a network. And we extend the reach of Boots Up's communications through our social network. The mayor in his office has a broad audience, and everything that Boots Up puts out, we can extend the reach just by putting it on his social media. We also can convince businesses to take chances. That's probably the biggest thing. We can show through the success that veterans have had in our own organization just what a veteran, a military member who brings all that life experience, those knowledge, skills, and ability can bring, what they've brought to our organization and what they can bring to somebody else's. But to be successful and for Boots Up to stand up in what is obviously a crowded field of military service organizations, we have to do more than just to commit to the idea of helping veterans. We have to turn that into action. And one of the best ways for cities to do that is to commit their resources to helping create networks, to make connections for veterans who have this tremendous knowledge, as I said, knowledge, skills, and ability, but they just struggle, they continue to struggle to get noticed. You do that, you help them get noticed by convincing people to get personally involved, to commit to reading a resume and sending it to someone who may be hiring, to commit to telling a veteran about a new job opportunity, to show them where that job may be. In short, we develop a bias for action over ideas. City of Pensacola is proud to be a partner with Boots Up, and I look forward to working with all of you to make this military to civilian transition easier for all of our veterans. I'm going to do that personally by inviting veterans to join in my personal support network, and I invite all of you to do the same. Thank you for allowing me to join in your meeting today, and thank you for allowing me to join in commemorating our fallen veterans on this holiday.
Hi, my name is Vernon Stewart, Public Information Officer for the City of Pensacola. I served in the United States Marine Corps from the years 2000 to 2004. Robin asked that I tell my story today, and that's what I'm going to do. So I was one of the guys that enlisted in the Marines right after high school. I went in the Marines in 2000, and of course we know what all happened a year later in 9/11 in 2001. So I spent the next 3 years back and forth between Iraq and Afghanistan, serving in Operations Iraqi Freedom and Operation Enduring Freedom. I got out of the Marine Corps in 2004 with a goal to, my initial goal was to go to school and get my degree. I initially wanted to go back in as an officer after finishing my degree. Things kind of changed thereafter because they started to do the drawdown. So I had to figure out a different path. And so after I got my degree from the University of West Florida here in Pensacola in communications. And so after getting the degree, I kind of didn't know what to do thereafter. I had no idea of what I really wanted to do. It was kind of hit or miss on some things. It would have been really helpful had I known of an organization such as Boots Up or a similar organization that would have been able to kind of give me some of the skills that I found out or realized that I was lacking. At that time, I realized that I have never done a job interview, never wrote a resume, never applied for jobs. Like I said, I was coming right out of high school, so I didn't have a lot of those skills. And so I kind of had to figure a lot of it out on my own. And so there was some help at the school, but it was not really, as I felt, efficient enough to achieve some of the goals that I was seeking. I was looking to seek a career, and a lot of those tools weren't available to me. So for a while, I kind of bounced around between different jobs because I really didn't know exactly what I wanted to do and how long I wanted to do it. And so some years went by. I ended up going back to school because, like I said, I still wasn't sure. So I went back to school and got my degree in, got my master's degree in public administration. And so after I got my degree, I came to the same crossroad. Where do I go from here? So after getting my master's degree here at the University of West Florida, I found out that I liked government and communications, tying that in with my educational background. I took it upon myself to reach out to the city administrator, just shot him an email. I told him, it's like, look, I just want to get some experience. I'm not looking for anything in return. I realized that he was actually a naval veteran himself. And so I thought that since we had that common ground, I think that he might be able to relate and maybe consider me. I was just asking for an internship of some sort so where I can kind of get my foot in the door, because I had, up to that point, applied to many other positions and a lot of different things and wasn't even getting a phone call or anything. And I didn't know what I was doing wrong or how to do it. So I reached out to the city administrator, Eric Olson, and I initially asked him, look, I'm just looking for some sort of a mentor or someone to show me how to get where I want to be. So he brought me in, started off as an intern. I was working on several different projects, and a few months went by, and I was doing a fairly good job from how I understand it, and they offered me the position of public information officer, and I've been here ever since. So in that sense, I owe a lot to my military service and having that connection with Eric Olson to take a chance on me, because like I said, it was difficult. I didn't know anybody here at City Hall, and I had no resources, and it was difficult for me to get out and network. So I used that to my advantage, but in my personal perspective, I feel that had there been an organization such as Boots Up to help guide me, show me some of these skills early on, I wouldn't have had to bounce around and being caught in this whirlwind for as long as I did. But ultimately, I'm here. I'm glad to be here. We're glad to be partnering with the Boots Up organization. We look forward to serving veterans and helping with their transition.
Hello, I'm Ashton Hayward, Mayor of Pensacola, Florida. Millions of servicemen and women have served in Iraq and Afghanistan and other places in the post-9/11 era. Many have left the military. Hundreds of thousands more will take off the uniform in the years ahead. What are our obligations to those who have risked everything in the service of our United States? One responsibility is to help our veterans transition successfully to the civilian sector. By doing so, it will help enable those who have served to continue to be all that they can be in their next chapter of their life's journey. Such efforts will not only strengthen our veterans, they will also strengthen our communities. I am sure some veterans can make that transition relatively easy. Most, however, will struggle with the transition. We also see transition challenges in some veterans who enter school or find new employment but still have difficulty developing new skills, relating to the civilian world, or finding the meaning in their pursuits that they experienced while in uniform. In light of this, let's ensure that transition programs are in place, such as better job skill training, transition mentoring, or more in-depth assistance programs for veterans struggling with persistent unemployment or even homelessness. But it is not enough just to have all these programs. Boots Up helps connect our veterans to them. As mayor, I have always been a big advocate for giving back, and that's what community service is all about. When you step up and give back, you have the opportunity to change the lives of many. Boots Up and similar organizations that cater to our transitioning veterans are changing the lives of many. There are two reasons why it is important to help veterans realize their goals in civilian life. First, helping those who have given so much is simply the right thing to do. Second, it makes good business sense. Veterans do bring distinct capabilities and valuable leadership experiences that are often exactly what businesses seek in today's marketplace. Pensacola is known for having one of the largest military, veteran, and retiree populations in the United States. Many of our veterans attended training school here in Pensacola and now call it home. For nearly as long as Pensacola has flown an American flag, it's been home to a military presence. Pensacola is proud of our military heritage and our veterans. They have given us freedom, security, and the greatest nation on earth. It is impossible to put a price on that. I am deeply humbled by the commitment and dedication of the men and women in our armed forces. I am proud of our special relationship with the military, and we are truly blessed to have veterans and reservists who have chosen to continue their public service as members of our team at City Hall. as well as our local police and fire departments. Their expertise and passion for service helps us to deliver the services our citizens depend on each and every day. So when Mark Harden reached out to us with the prospect of a partnership, we here at City Hall were excited for another chance to give back to such an integral part of our community. Last year, the City of Pensacola began partnering with Boots Up to assist with reintegrating veterans into the community. The resources and services provided to these honorably discharged veterans is a significant component of what these men and women need to get back on their feet. Whether their service was in Baghdad or Beirut, we need to serve our veterans as well as they serve us. As mayor, I make a conscious effort to recognize and support our veterans and their families. As a civilian, there were many things veterans struggle with that I didn't realize. Individuals leaving the military often wonder what they are going to do in their next phase of their life. They have doubts about whether or not they will find a new rewarding job. Some wonder if they will even be able to find a job. Oftentimes, they will miss the order and discipline of the military and wonder if they will be able to adjust. There are many veterans on my staff, and I've heard their stories. Because of them, it is a priority of mine to recognize our service members and to help ensure that they have the smoothest transition possible back into civilian life. Whether they served during a war or in peacetime, their experience in the service, both positive and negative, have made them a different person than they were before they entered, and may have changed the way they look at things and deal with people. Adjusting can be difficult. There can be a feeling of instability. Without the structure, order, and camaraderie they have had in their unit, they may feel exposed. We at City Hall are proud to work with Boots Up to offer mentorships and internships to do our part. Today is another opportunity for us to say thank you to those selfless Americans who have put it all on the line day after day under the toughest of conditions, against the most challenging of enemies, to help safeguard our fellow citizens and preserve our interest around the world. I am confident this room is full of such individuals. It is also a great privilege to serve alongside them here in the city of Pensacola. It has been a true honor to be asked to speak here today to help recognize the work of Boots Up and highlight our nation's obligations to our veterans and their families. In doing so, it has been a privilege to applaud Boots Up's impressive initiatives to help the many transitioning veterans who will be a part of our communities. May God bless each and every one of you, our veterans and their families, and all those in harm's way. Thank you.